KEF, a company that has been perfecting speaker design since the 1960s. They have given us many iconic products over those years. However, they are relative newcomers to the headphone market, entering in 2013 with the M200 in-ear and the product we are reviewing, the M500 HiFi Headphones. The range has been developed since with new designs and more colours to choose from. But how do the M500 stack up today? Hello and welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System. In for review, we have had these stunning KEF M500 headphones, and we're going to start the review just looking at the design, obviously, of the headphones. Now, to me, I think headphones, even more than speakers, have a difficult position in the market to try and A, be identifiable, and B, stand out. Now, I think KEF with this design at this price point really stand out within the market, because around this price point what you see is a lot of black plastic, or just a lot of plastic in general, but there is literally no plastic on these at all. We've got a nice slimline and sleek headband, which feels, it's reassuringly padded and comfortable, and it feels nice material, nice quality. It doesn't feel like leather, it feels more like pleather, but that's absolutely fine, obviously, at this price point. But what's really impressive is our aluminium sections here, and just the aluminium construction on these headphones. Now, I think if you showed these headphones to someone in the street and asked them how much they thought they would cost, I think they would say at least £250, maybe even more, because the aluminium finish, the fit and finish, and the back plate, it actually reminds me of like a watch finish. It's that high quality, and our KEF logo there imprinted there is a nice touch, but it's just the quality of the hinge, the quality of the hinge mechanisms, and just the way that feels in your hand. It feels thick and chunky and solid, and yet extremely lightweight, and the lightweight of these is one of the first things you notice, obviously, with these headphones. Now, moving on to our ear pads, we have memory foam, which should be standard, but obviously it's not across the industry. And again, we've got that same kind of very soft kind of leather or pleather feel material over our ear pads. Now, that is extremely comfortable on your ears. In fact, it's so soft you don't even realise you're wearing them, and that says a lot, obviously, to me. And I think that's really important, obviously, from a comfort point of view. Now, a couple of kind of neat features that these headphones have got, and one main feature is just where we input our cables. Now, instead of having the usual place where the cable comes out the bottom, KEF have decided to put the cable on the rear of the headphones, which may seem strange until you put them on your head. And once you put them on your head, you soon realise that the cable disappears. It disappears and completely gets out of your way. And a lot of people will tuck cable through their clothes and stuff like that. And again, having that come out the back just means it can go down the back of your t-shirt, or maybe down the inside of your coat or your jumper. And it's never ever tugging. It's never ever caught here. You never ever notice it kind of along your neck. And you're never aware that there's even a cable attached to these headphones. And that is a really clever design, and I think that is accompanied by the fact that they've used a flat cable with these speakers, and it's the first time I've ever seen a flat cable used with a pair of headphones before. And it kinks a little bit initially, and you might want to get your kinks out, but it just makes the cable so light, and it just makes it kind of invisible, so you don't know that it's there when you've got these in use. And that is really lovely. And I suppose having it flat means it will sit nice, inside your t-shirt or inside your jumper, or however you decide to route that in terms of, how you're going to do it when you're wearing these. So kudos to KEF. They've not just followed suit. They've not just done the exact same thing as everybody else. They've been innovative, and even innovative in the way they, kind of attach a cable to the headphone. So, I'm really impressed with that, and you won't realise how good that is until you try these out. Now, In terms of logos and stuff like that, I really like the fact we've got a little KEF logo on our cable. And I was actually thinking I would get these confused because both ends look extremely similar, but only one end will fit into the headphones and the other end is your 3.5 obviously millimeter jack. So if you're like me and you're an extreme audiophile who likes to keep their cables in the same direction, fear not, you know, this is not labelled or directional in terms of there's no arrows or anything on there, but fear not, you can only plug it in one way round. Obviously our headphones fold up and actually fold up extremely small for, you know, for a closed back kind of multi-purpose headphone. And the case they come with is also, to be honest, probably a little bit chunky for purposes of, you know, carrying with you, but that could fold up quite happily. Careful. That could fold up quite happily, go in your bag, you know, for a plane ride, for a plane journey, or, you know, a train ride, or any long journey, and you wouldn't really mind. And it's actually a very nice, high quality case with our nice KEF logos. And, you know, included with the headphones are a couple of pairs of cables. One of them's got your microphone and stuff built in for Apple phones, and you've also got your adapter for using these headphones on a plane. Let's talk about, you know, how comfortable are these headphones to wear. Extremely comfortable. Now, they have like I'd say like a minimal amount of clamping force, but it feels just the right amount to me. I'm happy with headphones that clamp a little bit tighter than these, but actually in terms of how these feel just nice, and they feel comfortable to wear for long periods of time, and they're extremely light. You can't obviously get over how light they are, and actually for, you know, they are quite, the actual earpieces themselves are quite small. And what I noticed is that it's important to make sure you get your length right. Now the length adjustment, as opposed to being clicks, is literally just, you know, as much movement as you need, which I actually quite like. Clicks are handy for, you know, obviously remembering an exact position, but actually being able to adjust them, you know, tiniest little bit is always useful. But putting these on your head, it's important to let the earpieces kind of come down on the bottom of your ears, otherwise they can leak a little bit of wind noise when you're outside. However, if you get the earpieces low enough to cover the whole of your ear from the bottom point of view, that really reduces that obviously aspect obviously of the performance. And it obviously lets you hear the music more when you're walking along, which is, I think, really important for this design, and I think a key thing for this design, which we'll cover more in the conclusion. Okay, so overall, I think from a visual point of view, especially in this white colour, these headphones really stand out. Recently, I attended the obviously HiFi Indulgence show, and I was on the train and I was looking at people wearing headphones, and over-ear headphones in particular, and most of them were just bog standard, boring and black, and they could have been literally any headphone on the market. Now, I think, you know, someone wearing these on their head are obviously going to stand out because obviously how bright they are and the colour of them, but I think they'll just stand out because of the look of them. And again, in an extremely tight market where there's, you know, so many pairs and so many variations, these are very distinctive and again really well designed and a really nice looking pair of headphones visually. Okay, then let's talk about the M500 sound. Now, these headphones are a very energetic and lively sounding pair of headphones. It's the sort of headphones where, you know, rhythm tracks along really well, and they've got good, you know, pace and rhythm and timing. That's really impressive. You get a very good sound stage, and the music on presentation of sound has a light touch to it. These headphones play loud, they play really loud, and they're extremely easy to drive, and they play, you know, very loud off your phone, even at kind of moderate volumes. They're a detailed and clean and precise sounding pair of headphones, and it's the sort of sound that comes to you with detail. It's not the sort of sound where you'll find yourself turning it up, obviously, to bring the detail out in the sound. You know, the music having a light touch is really to do, I think, with the bass of these headphones. Now, anybody who's spent any time with small driver, small box, sealed subwoofers will know that those subwoofers, they don't really seem to put out much low-end bass, but the bass that they do is always kind of tight and agile and nimble sounding, and that's what these headphones really reminded me of. You don't really get kind of, you know, eye-popping out bass, but the bass you do get is very fast and tactile and agile in presentation, and that really helps with kind of the liveliness and the energetic sound presentation, and really kind of helps to not overbloom the rest of the sound, and allows the rest of the presentation to stay crisp, especially through the mid-range and obviously into the treble. The soundstage from these headphones is excellent, and they actually remind me more of a pair of open back headphones than they do closed back, because of the light touch and because of the very obvious and clear separation within the soundstage. Now, most of the time, the music you're listening to or the content you're listening to will be focused kind of in this area here between the headphones, and then occasionally it will surprise you and we'll have sound come right over here to the left or right over here to the right. I actually, more impressive to that is at times the soundstage seems to come towards you as well. So again, it just gives you a bigger soundstage and a more impressive space in which you're listening to. Now again, with most of the focus being kind of tight, in front of your face sounding. For me, one of the big factors of these headphones is how they get out of the way, and the transparency of the headphones. And again, that ties in with the design. They're really light and they're really comfortable, so you're not really aware that you're wearing headphones. And then the music is presented for the most part, very transparent, very clear, very clean, and actually extremely engrossing. So you are able to forget you're wearing headphones and forget what you're doing, and listen to the music, uninhibited. Now, these headphones for me, from a sound quality point of view, are not perfect. Now, because of the light touch and because of kind of how energetic and lively they are, with some content and at certain volumes, they can come across, again, it's content depending, they can come across as a bit hard sounding, and they can come across as a bit congested at times and a bit brittle at times. But it's been interesting listening to these headphones because it's been more content dependent than it has been for everything. So, that could well be that these are showing up flaws in the signal, possibly, or it could just be, when the music becomes intense or when things, liven up, and there's a lot going on, maybe they harden up a little bit through that process. So, something I think to bear in mind. Another thing to bear in mind is, because again it's that lively presentation and we've got that kind of nimble bass, it means it's a bit of a forward presentation for me, and that can become a little bit tiresome, and you can get a little bit of listening fatigue over periods of time, which is, I suppose, in a way strange, because in terms of comfort you could wear these headphones forever, but from a listening point of view, for me it's not quite balanced right for hours and hours and hours of critical listening. I don't think they're designed for that. Again, we'll talk about that in a second. And what I would say really is maybe the last negative, if you are considering a pair of headphones for your main critical listening headphones, then I'm not exactly sure these would be perfect for that. Again, that would depend, I suppose, on the presentation of music that you like. If you like quite a forward, lively, energetic presentation, then these could well be obviously perfect for you. But I felt if you are a real critical listener, then you probably would find some flaw with these headphones. I don't think these headphones would give you a full range enough sound for you to be satisfied long term. But that to me is probably because they're not designed with that in mind. So let's look at that now in the conclusion. Okay, conclusion for the KEF M500 headphones. Now, it's been an interesting one reviewing these headphones because, for starters, it's made me aware that, I think the headphones are designed with certain purposes in mind, or even if they're not totally designed like that, there's, maybe a certain aspect of, the use of those headphones which are kind of designed in. So that's one thing. The second thing is I've literally gone full circle with these headphones. When I first started listening to them, I really didn't like the sound from them. I liked how they felt, I liked how they looked, they felt extremely comfortable. I just really didn't like the sound of them straight away. They was very hard and very brittle sounding, and they was like that for about maybe a week. So that's something to bear in mind when you first get these headphones. Give them a chance, run them in, and I would actually say if you can get away with not listening to them for maybe for 24 or so hours, definitely do that, because what you don't want to do is put what I did really is kind of put maybe a negative comment or a negative thought in your mind, and then what you certainly don't want to do is give up on these headphones. Just give them a chance to settle down. And I did notice a big change in the performance after maybe a week, obviously, of using them. And I've used these headphones a lot. For example, I've used these headphones for listening to music. I've listened to many podcasts using them. I've walked with them. I've used them kind of in a quiet environment. I've used them in a noisy environment. I've watched YouTube videos with them. So and actually I use these to as part of the monitoring to make all the Indulgence Hi-Fi show videos that I made, obviously, for the channel recently. That was like 17 videos and stuff. So I've really put these headphones through their paces. And I must admit that after all of that and all that time, and even today listening to them, I've been gradually warming up to them, from a sound point of view. Looking at them visually, to me, they are visually stunning, especially at the price point, but I think visually stunning anyway. The use of the materials, the use of colours, even the white, and the aluminium, and just the design themselves. It's very sleek. It's very modern, and I can imagine this colour, being on some hunky footballer's head, strutting around in the sunshine, and he would look really cool, obviously, wearing them, which obviously would be exactly the same for me, of course. And they are really well made. They are, the build quality of these is extremely high. They feel premium. They feel luxury, and as I say, they actually feel more like a watch than they do, a set of headphones or the sub £200 price level, where it's quite often just chunky plastic. And they are very comfortable to wear. They're some of the most comfortable headphones I think I've ever worn, because they're so light. They've got a really nice amount of clamping force. The materials used are really soft, obviously, against your skin, and the way the cable runs there's literally nothing there you could dislike, obviously, from a comfort point of view about these headphones. So that's like another major tick, isn't it? In what a headphone should be. But it's the sound of the headphones that makes me conscious, I think, of the intended use, obviously, for them. And that is for being on the go. So on the go, to me, I always think of people on the train, because that is where a lot of people, will have their headphones on when they're on their commute to work, or when they're on their way home, or potentially at the gym. I suppose they could be obviously fine for that. But if we just concentrate on the kind of commute situation, the train situation, I think these cover so many bases there, and that would be a major appeal for buyers for me. If you go on the train every day and you listen to music every day, these would be sort of headphones that are going to get your attention. For starters, they're not massively expensive, so it wouldn't be nice to lose these at the price they are, but they're not costing silly amounts of money. They're reasonably priced, and yet they're still nice. They still feel quality. They're still comfortable, and they still sound obviously as good as they do. That energetic, lively sound, again, just means you don't need to blast them out every single day. So if you are wearing music, if you are listening to music that close on your head, for several hours a day, each day, then it's important to protect your hearing. You don't really want to be blasting music out, not really anyway, every single day, just to enjoy it. So the fact that it's that lively presentation means you can enjoy these quieter, and again, people around you will probably appreciate the fact you're not blasting them out as well. I think that lively presentation is not necessarily a typical KEF sound, although there's certainly KEF traits in there. I was listening to these today and I was thinking, that treble, I just recognise that treble, that's kind of a KEF sounding treble. But it's not, to me, it's not a totally typical KEF sound, and it's probably a more commercial sound. So for me, I think these headphones are unisex, not only in their look, but in the sound of these. And again, I don't know, maybe women probably would listen quieter than men, maybe. But again, it's not the sort of sound where you'd need to be like a devout audiophile, I think, to appreciate. I think it's a very commercial sound, very lively, very kind of easy to listen to. And again, because it tracks the rhythms well, and you get good separation and stuff like that, there's nothing really there that would turn off your kind of average music listener, or average Joe, really. Now, the bass, and that ties in with the bass, really. The bass is not powerful enough to pop anybody's eyeballs out. So that is, again, I think that's important when you think about the commute to work. You're going to get to work, and your eyeballs are going to be there, so they're going to still be intact, so you're going to be able to function at work. But I think more important than that, that lively, energetic sound, you're going to arrive at work, and you're going to feel upbeat, and you're going to feel like taking on the day ahead. So I don't know if that was designed in on purpose, but that is kind of how they make me feel in terms of listening to them. So again, for the traveller, for the commuter, obviously to work, which is probably where these are designed for most. Again, these are going to tick a hell of a lot of boxes, obviously, for the, God knows how many million, obviously, of you that do it every single day. Okay then, so how do we rate these headphones. Now for me, these are not quite my desert island headphones, but I do appreciate them, and they've gradually over time, the more I've used them, they've been winning me round. But the strengths are there, the build quality is there, the looks are there. So, you know, it's very close. I'm going to give these a thumbs up. It's a very close double thumbs up, and I'm probably being a little bit harsh and a little bit critical by only giving them a single thumbs up. And if I could give them a 1.5, I probably would, but you know, that's just silly. So it's a thumbs up for these. They are lovely to look at, they're lovely to wear. For the vast majority of people, they're going to sound more than good enough. But you know, being a devout audiophile as I am, there's just a couple of bits missing from the performance, just for me personally. But would I buy these with my own money? Well, it's back to that same thing. If I was a commuter and I wanted a pair of headphones that didn't cost the earth, that still looked good, that still sounded good, I could still enjoy, you know, podcasts and music and YouTube or video or anything, any type of content, and I could take them on holiday with me, and I could take them on the plane, or I could use them at home, or, you know, and they would never get in the way. They would never kind of offend me, and they would always be, you know, never too cumbersome. Then it's a definite yes, I would buy these. However, because I'm not so much those things, and I actually just seek a more, you know, a more full and a more rounded and a more kind of complete and refined sound presentation, that these are not quite the headphones for me. Now, I think what's really important is, up until recently, if you wanted a better sounding, a better performing headphone than these, you would have to go elsewhere, but not anymore. Not now. KEF have these headphones in the range, because these are superb, and come back for these. The review is coming for these soon.